Then there's the rise of populism, obviously driven by our cult hero. And of course, I couldn't help doing this. You know, I Googled Donald Trump tweets. I mean, there's millions of them. They go on forever. And of course, this is his view of the world. It's like a puzzle that he wants to kick around. But this is another interesting sign. It's not just happening in the US. This is the French Gilets jaunes, and there were 1 million French people who signed petitions, against increased fuel taxes and the fact that they thought that Macron was really essentially loading up on the middle class and the poor. And so there's this frustration all over the world. But some of these tweets I've got to share with you. This is one: lowest rated Oscars in history. Problem is, we don't have stars anymore except your president. Just kidding, of course. Donald Trump doesn't know how to kid. And then he says, to President of the United States, on my first try, I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius, a very stable genius at that. So clearly, we're talking about a self-aware man. And then, of course, there's Theresa May in England, fighting desperately, holding on to her position as PM, not for long, likely. And yet, interestingly, this is a map showing how much damage Brexit would cause the rest of Europe. So there are no winners in this. And I just read about 2 or 3 hours ago in Bloomberg that Jeremy Corbyn has spoken to Theresa May and suggested that they need to do another referendum. So it's just a complete mess over there. Now, I wanted to share something with you. Most of you are not old enough to remember this commercial, "Where's the beef?" But just listen to this for a sec.
He's putting us under the supervisor.
If you ask me, which you didn't, we should call the owner.
At Wendy's, the hamburger we modestly call a single has more beef than the Big Mac or Whopper.
We've got the owner.
Hello? Where's the beef?
Wendy's kind of people never ask, where's the beef?
I don't think there's anybody there.
Always love that commercial. So, where's the beef? Well, it starts with the 1%. Basically, a group of greedy, rapacious bastards trying to take all the wealth away from the rest of the world. And when we look at the numbers, just the pure numbers in terms of, in this case, we're looking at the percentage of national income in the US. The top 1% are 90% higher than they were 35 years ago, approximately. And the bottom 50% are 40% below where they were. So if what we're looking at is this, then it would appear that this 1% issue is very real and true. But The Economist reported just towards the end of last year that there may be a shift, because between 2017 and 2018, the concentration of wealth and income in the top 1%, it started to fall. Now, I don't know if this is a trend or not, but I thought it would be interesting to look at this a bit more carefully. In England, this gentleman wrote a book called The Anywheres versus the Somewheres. And the Anywheres are a group of people that their training, their profession, their money allows them to be anywhere. And the Somewheres are people who are stuck where they are, both geographically and in terms of their job, so they cannot move ahead. And he's written a book called The Road to Somewhere. And interestingly, our own ex-prime minister, if you went to YouTube, you can find a really good presentation on the Anywheres to Somewheres by Stephen Harper. And he looks very mellow, very chilled out, could maybe replace Trudeau for the Liberal Party based on the way he's speaking. So it would be worth listening to. So it occurred to me, we have this demographic issue, and then we have this concentration of wealth issue. Is there any other explanation that would make sense? Well, does older equal richer?